Okay, you should have your learning kit up and running now, and I believe it puts you into the learning kit, the games folder right away. And we're not going to work in that yet. We're going to go to robots. So what we're going to do, and I'm on page 5 of that student guide. We are going to go. Let me give you a quick rundown of where we are. So this tab tells us basically what map we are in right now, and it's the learning kit, the showcase kit, um, and so that's what's showing in this viewport. So we don't want to be there. We want to be somewhere else. But let's just say, okay, this is a viewport. We have outliners, levels. That's basically everything in your viewport. So if I clicked on something, it would show me where that was. Um, and it's a pretty long list of things. It's everything that's in your scene there. But we want to be in content. So let's go down to the content browser. This is going to be a tab that you use a lot. Okay. So this is your content browser, and let's go to, it wants us to go to content, and then we're going to go to Learning Kit, Robots, and then we want to go to Maps, Robots, and then L1, and we're going to click on Map 1-1 Balance and Design. And that might take a while to upload. I just had mine open a minute ago, so mine opened pretty quickly. It's totally normal if it takes a while for your map to open. All right. So the purpose of this particular map, we are going to look at robot design. We're going to look at the robot tank movement, and basically just observe how the robots are working in these designs. So the people who created this have given us a very nice shortcut keys to navigate around this viewport. If you click inside the viewport, you can click 1 to quickly go to Design 1. 2 will take you over to Design 2, and 3 will take you over to Design 3. So let's start at Design 1, and practice around. Let's practice with your navigation. You can, I like to right click and orbit a little bit, and then use my WASD keys to move around. So I want to look at Design 1, and you can see here that the wheels look like they're pretty close to the actual frame. So I'm thinking maybe there'll be a lot of friction there, and maybe it won't go, if it goes at all. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think it will go? It's kind of low to the ground. Let's look at the design of this. Let's kind of get in there. You can get in there and see where everything is. So it looks like, the wheels are almost even locked inside that frame, and you've got that glider down here. It's pretty low. I mean, it might be sturdy because it's got a low center of gravity there. What do you think? Do you think this one's gonna go? Let's play it and see. So the whole purpose here is just to observe these designs, see how they work. All right, I pushed my play button, and it is trying to go. Yep. You probably can't hear my sound on my computer, but it was trying to go, and obviously it is not going anywhere. So I don't have the camera engaged with my mouse. I can go up here and click stop, or I can just hit the escape key to get back into that non-play mode where we can kind of navigate around. Okay, so just make some observations about that design, how you might want your wheels in terms of the robot frame there. All right, let's go to Design 2. Make sure you're clicked inside the viewport. Go to 2, and let's look at this one. Let's see. So Exercise 1, Balance and Design. Design 1, it said the wheels were too close to the robot body. All right, let's look at Design 2. The wheel placement might be too narrow, so let's take a look at these wheels. So, use this time to practice around with your navigation, your viewing skills. All right. So we are looking at these wheels. They're very close together. I feel like this is a pretty good ways out here. I like kind of the placement of that one personally. I don't know what you guys think. let me know what you think. All right, so let's just click play, see what happens. We've got the glider bar here, and we've got our wheels that are pretty close together. We're going to hit play. You might need to move your camera to watch it go. Yep, and it has gone. It has gone and is really trying to get back up, and it is not going to happen. I'm going to hit escape or stop and to go back. How might we change that so it would not fall over? Would we make the wheels wider? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you have your devlog out, I'll show you where that is in a bit. But you can, when you make designs, you're going to want to basically log what you've done and whether it worked or not. So you can refer to that later. The devlogs are very important in game development. All right, let's go to design 3 now. We're still observing. Okay, it says design 3 has wheels too close to the glide ball. All right, so we've got a very tall robot here, and we have these wheels that are very close to this glide ball. So this would be the bottom of the frame of that tank there. All right, let's click play and see what happens to this one. Here it goes. Going to try to get up that hill. All right, so when we design the robot, we want to make it more stable. Maybe we'll increase the space between the wheels, left to right, and separating those wheels from the glide ball front to back, which might make for it harder to tip. All right, and I'm still here in that student guide. You can see what I'm seeing on page 7 here. I want you to read through the summary of what you've learned in this exercise, all these observations that you made, and then we'll move on to exercise 2 with the friction. Okay, so we looked at designs 1, 2, and 3 in terms of design and movement. I'm going to move on to exercise 2, which is on page 7, and we're going to look at friction or traction when moving. And with these diagrams, you see that if the frame were 1,000 kilograms here, that weight is pushing down, to make the contact with the ground basically right over these wheels. So if this one is only pushing on this wheel, this is really the only wheel that's gaining traction, is what this is saying. These wheels are just going to spin and spin. And so let's see what happens when we have some designs. Now we have to get to that map. Okay, let me get out this real quick. Just show you a little trick here. If you ever get lost and you see my content browser, it's going to show the breadcrumbs of where I am. So I'm in All, Content, Learning Kit, Robots, Maps, Robots, and we're in the L1 folder. And so this is where we were before, and we were in this map 1-1, and we're going to click on map 1-2, friction traction. Okay, so let's observe these. All right, so we're going to observe 2 vehicles trying to climb a ramp. So based on that information about the weight, what can you predict is going to happen with these 2? So, you can pause here and make your predictions and then push play and see what happens. Let's push play. And there they go. So looks like robot 1 is winning the race. And robot 2 down there is really struggling. You see those wheels are just spinning and spinning because there's no weight on top of them. So that is a really good lesson in traction. All right. So hit escape. When you design your robot, and I can show you what I'm looking at here, make sure you use the weight of the vehicle to help keep the wheels in contact with the ground. Be sure the body and weight of the vehicle is located near the wheels. So adding the weight near the wheels increases the downward pressure on the wheels, which gives them better traction. All right, and hopefully you've already hit your stop button. We have the same setup, so if I click in the viewport, I can hit 2, and that is going to take me to example 2. So what do we have here? Let's look at our guide here. So we have two vehicles ready to have a head-to-head pushing contest. So both vehicles are made from the same parts and are using the same motor speeds. The only major difference is the location of the wheels. So let's take a look at that. So they're going to have a pushing contest here. Let's push play, see what happens between these two designs. Oops. All right. The ones close to the body are doing much better than the one with the wheels farther away. All right, let's click escape. And so observe and reflect on that. Notice how the wheels here are slipping, just like on the hill. They just don't have good traction, and we've got that same design here. So so I would love to hear your reflections. And that is the end of these observations. So go through and read through the summary here. Okay, we are done with the friction traction exercise. So let's move into moving the robot, which is exercise 3. So I am here on page 10 of the learning guide. I am going to click on map 1-3. So we are still in content, learning kit robots, map robots, and L1 folder. And so I'm going to click on map 1-3, moving straight. We're going to look at motors. Okay, so in order to move the robot straight, there's something very silly that has to occur. It's not silly, it's physics. Okay, so we're going to have a robot that goes forward, and we're going to have one that goes backward. So let's look at the forward one. All right. So on each wheel, there are motors. And, obviously the wheels are going to be going in a forward direction. So how do we make those wheels turn that way? And they're kind of, they're attached opposite each other. So one motor, so there's a motor here on this wheel, and there's a motor here on this wheel. One of them has to be installed upside down, basically, in order for the robot to go in the same direction. So motor A is going to be going, plus 20, whatever that's programmed as, plus 20, and motor B has to be going minus 20. So let's look at that in a little more detail. Okay, so we have this diagram here. 0 programmed, if it's programmed at 0, it's stopped, so it's not moving at all. If it's from 0 to minus 100, the motor is going counterclockwise. If it is programmed 0 to 100, it is going clockwise. And that's just going to be the speed, basically. So if it's 1, -1 here, +1 here, it's just going to be going slower. I believe that's the case. So let's look at this. Let's look if this is correct. This one's going plus 20, and this one's going minus 20. This one is minus 20 and plus 20. Let's see what happens. Let's go back a little bit in our viewport and observe these robots moving straight. Let's hit play. And that is right, they're going straight. The one on the right is going backwards, and the one on the left is going forward. So let's predict what would happen if we were to make those wheel speeds, motor speeds uneven. If you predict that it might make it turn, you might be right. So this is a good segue into turning. Okie dokie. So we just finished watching the robots move forward and backward. And now let's go to turning. So we are going to need to upload the map 1-4 map, and we're still in our L1 folder here. So let's click on that and get turning going. All right, so we are going to be looking at a pivot turn, robot A. Robot B is a spin turn, and robot C is the arc turn. And I am looking at um, the page 13 on our student guide. And let's look at these. Let's just start playing them. All right, the robot A, the pivot turn, is going to be one wheel spinning while the other is stopped. So this one is stopped, has a speed of 0, and this one is going, has a different speed. Let's stop and then look at B. All right, so B is a spin turn. So the motors are spinning in opposite directions, but at the same speed. And the arc turn is robot C here. And let's start that back up so we can see it go. Robot C is going to be the wheel spinning in the same direction, but at different speeds. Okay, so I take note of all of these, and basically this will help you program your robot when we do our challenge later. So you're going to be building a robot, and you're going to make it go, you're going to make it try to solve different tasks. So it's going to be really fun. So make note of all these movements. Now we are down to the home stretch with these observations. We have one more observation to make, and we're going to be doing the Dead Reckoning map. So that is going to be map 1-5. And basically we're talking about inconsistent results. This is exercise 5, Dead Reckoning. Let's load that up. All right, so let's look. So I'm going to back up a little bit here. We're going to be looking at this robot here. And basically this demo is supposed to show that someone has programmed this to try to make it all the way over here to this green box. Now, when you program something, the longer it has to go, the more error will be involved. It might not make it there every single time because of different forces, different wind. Maybe when it was dropped down, when you start the game, it's kind of hovering above the ground. It's dropped down a little bit. It might get skewed a little bit. So if you push play several times, you'll notice that this little guy might get caught up, or it might make it. It might not. I don't know. Ooh, looks like mine's gonna make it. Hey-oh. Oh, I love it. So I win. I hope that yours is doing the same. That was very satisfying. I did this with a teacher group not too long ago, and my little guy kept getting caught on this thing, and it just kept going around and around. So this is super fun. But the whole point of this is, see, it didn't even make it to this guy. So the more times you do it, there's going to be some error there, especially when you're going long distance like that. So just keep that in mind as you need to account for error in your programming. So I made it that time. Hey, so this can be really fun, and just make note of this Dead Reckoning concept.